All right. Vrz joins us. We are on StreamYard for one of the rare times because he has something to show off. Good morning.
He's got on. I can't. You got to unmute yourself, man.
All right. There we go.
Attaboy.
You are good to
on
go now.
other shows, the producer unmutes me.
It wouldn't let me, Vrz. I tried to click the thing and it said,
I also
Sure
tried
did.
to unmute you, and I could not unmute you. Okay, so we were both absolved. We are both absolved.
So this is a great shirt.
It's an incredible shirt. That is an awesome shirt.
It's my favorite shirt ever. I love wearing it.
Why are we wearing it today?
It's just much like Ricky Bobby. I just piss excellence. So tried to. By the way, on these very airwaves that we're on right now, the news of, and if we're going to be petty, we'll be petty. The news of a certain hire of a human being as the head football coach at Nebraska. I said, hey, everybody needs to temper their expectation. This person has never inherited a situation like this, so let's all back it down. In the millisecond that I uttered these words off of these airwaves, I began to get death threats. And they were going to bankrupt. Oh, yeah. They were going to bankrupt my business. They were going to, I'm a fat, washed up POS that's never done anything, and I hate Nebraska. So that's all except the hate Nebraska part is fair. That's more than fair. So this is my mea culpa. Hi, did you miss me? Go ahead and tell me. But no. It is what it is. You know, I like to try to find like lessons to learn out of things in life. When you're born and raised, and parents out there, pay attention. Okay, if you have children, pay attention. When you raise a child that is never wrong, it's never their fault, it's always someone else, this is what you get. Okay. And if you don't think it's your child, it is your child. Because I dealt with it last night. When you raise your child to be never wrong, they are wrong, and this is what you get. You get petulant children that will point fingers and never take blame for anything. And you got good people that will defend them. God bless them, but I ain't that guy. I call it what it is, and good riddance. I wish you all the best.
Do you think it's partly stemmed from the fact that, and I let's just keep this from an athletic perspective, right? Because I talked back to a coach one time when I was younger, and I got heavily punished by my parents about that. And they're like, you don't do that. You don't talk back to your coach. Do you think that we are missing that stems from that we have too many parents who think they know better than the coaches, or their kids know better than the coaches?
Yes and no. I think it's starting to make a turn. Like 2-3 years ago, it was bad. But look at all the youth organizations, and I ain't mad at you. Go out and make your money. If you have people that are dumb enough to not realize that their child does not possess the skill to move on to the next level, but you want to go start your own team and basically buy your own franchise inside of whatever little youth organization you're going to make. I mean, these organizations are running out of colors.
Yeah.
Like it's blank, United, special, delivery, teal, superstars, all world. And it's just like, what are we doing? Like, you get mad at a coach because your 5 to 13-year-old kid isn't feeling what you get as the correct playing time. Now, there is part of this, there's a two-way street. But some of the coaches out there are trying to live their glory days and make sure that they win their city title, which if you're basing your life off a city title, then you probably should hang it up anyway. But it is what it is. It's just, we are a society of selfish people. We only care about ourselves. And now it is turning, because much as I'll have bad kids that come into Pisons, like the little gal last night, we got her disciplined and we sat her down, and I don't care what her parents thought about it. But then in the next breath, when they left, I had 3 great kids that were just over being super respectful of the property and the business. And that's all I really want. I actually bought their parents beer, and the kids all got ice cream sandwiches. So,
wow,
I'm
that's
a
a
reinforcement kind of guy.
That's a hell of an Uncle Verse. Do you think, and I know how you feel about youth sports, and everybody that has followed you along, you've been passionate and straightforward on your thoughts on youth sports. Are youth sports, though, going to be youth sports organizations that have become so big and there's such a huge financial investment by the parents that youth sports and those organizations are going to kill the idea of, hey, play multiple sports? You know, play 3-4 sports. Don't just focus on one. But if there's so much money going to play basketball during the summer, you really just are focusing on one, right?
Yeah.
If the parent, so those things can go as far as the parent will allow. A great example of it just happened this past year. Okay. You had the Van Dyke twins, football, basketball, baseball, both great at football. Okay. One good at basketball, one not so good at basketball. One good at baseball, one better than average at baseball, but had other plans. Senior year, you're moving on. The Van Dyke family does not give an S what you think about them. If they don't, why aren't you in travel? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And so that the parent's insecurity is what it is. The parent thinks they can go buy this avenue into stardom. When in reality, all you want to get done is have your kids learn how to operate inside of a team environment and build a structure where they have to get it. Every sport has a benefit to life. Okay. Baseball is futility. In baseball, if I go 3 for 10, I am an all-star. I am amazing. At Paisan's Pizzeria, if I get 3 out of 10 pizzas right, I am out of business. But we are going to make mistakes. But guess what? We are going to get back up. We are going to fix that mistake, and we are going to move on. Football is the really only team atmosphere that you can create. Because for me to succeed, I got to have 10 other dudes do exactly what I'm doing for us to go forward together and be great. Okay? That's what football does. Basketball, dumbest sport ever. Teaches you nothing. It teaches you no life skills. Because look how it operates. I'm going to go out and get mine. Why 7-on-7 is dumb too. I'm going to go out and get mine. Okay? I don't care about what you do. I got mine. And then when you watch it, then the dumbasses double down. And then the parents get so pissed off because their kid can't get theirs that they try to fight. Go ahead and come in here and try to fight. Come in and try to fight. And please do. Please. I wish you that. Go into an office and try to fight if you don't get your way. See what happens. Go hold a press conference and whine and piss and moan when you don't get your way. See how that goes for you. It doesn't go. Sports are there to teach the kids the fundamentals and the love of the game. The cream will always rise to the top.
Yep.
And try this out, parent. If you got a kid on your team that's not your kid that's awesome, and you know he's different, and you know in your brains when you see the different ones, go tell him. Be like, hey, buddy, I'd love to watch you play. You're really good, and thanks for playing with my kid. Because you make him better. That's what these little youth programs are supposed to be about.
Sure.
It carries on into they went up to Sioux Falls, and you got West Side playing like Millard West. Save yourself the 4-hour trip and just go play over here. Like, it's just dumb. I wish I had that much money though.
That's been going on for so long. Like 10 years ago when I was playing hockey, we would go up to Michigan to play the same exact teams that we played back in Illinois. It was stupid. Now I was at the Omaha Baseball Village for the College World Series, and there was all of these youth baseball kids walking around. And you know what I'm talking about. They had the chains and they had the glasses and they had, all the fancy gloves and everything like that. And I think that, obviously you want the kid to express some personality, but you don't want it to go above the team. As a coach, how do you balance that of not making the kid be a robot, but also not allowing them to be a standoff, what?
You have a meeting with the parents and you go get all of the videos of the Dominican and the Cuban and the Puerto Rican leagues. And that kid is crafting a glove out of a cardboard box. And he is throwing rocks up and hitting rocks with a broomstick. And but there's a 49-cent broomstick, and you just spent $400 on a bat. That guy can rake, your kid pops out to second. Maybe we just work on a little bit of hand-eye coordination instead of thinking this bat is going to send the ball into orbit. Or maybe instead of $350 on the glove, you just tell him, hey, bud, you're going to use last year's glove. Then, instead of getting some oven mitts because your kid doesn't know how to slide, maybe you teach him how to slide. Maybe your dumb ass goes in feet first. Because if you can't do that, you don't need an oven mitt. One of my favorite videos on the interwebs, there's a set of moms that had enough. They had enough. Their kids played a team of kids that had the oven mitt sliding gloves. They went to Dollar General and bought oven mitts and just taped them on their kids' hands. I was like, you're my favorite people ever. I'm like, you get it.
Matt Vrz joining us. What if I told you that James Franklin would be sitting in his office in State College looking over film, and there was a kid that popped to him and he said, you know what, let's find out more about him. So James Franklin or somebody else on his staff calls up Matt Turman and says, tell me about this junior that you have. And the next thing you know, Wyatt Liebentritt has an offer from Penn State. What if I would have told you that? You would have said what?
Probably wouldn't have thought it would have been James Franklin. Probably would have thought it would have been Matt Campbell. But I think Penn State, and this is just speculation, I think Penn State does a great job of evaluation. Okay. And let me finish when I say this. I think Penn State really wanted the kid that's going to Iowa. I apologize. I don't follow recruiting. I don't know his name. Okay. But he was going to go to Iowa, or he is going to Iowa because his daddy played at Iowa and his brother plays in Nebraska.
Darian Jones.
Sounds good. If that's right, great.
Cool.
But then they had a little 7-on-7 deal, and I think Wyatt had a good day against him.
Mm-hmm.
And so Penn State held him in very high regard, got some film and said, well, who's this kid? And why aren't we looking at him? Then you go look at Wyatt's measurables. Wyatt can run. He's a hurdler. He's fast. He's explosive. He made some good plays. He has good cut-ups from his huddle. He didn't. He's pretty good with the technology. He's got some good cut-ups there. So that looks good. Would like to see him run the alley and make some plays. So not a little bit more, but so now Franklin looks at that. It's like, well, if we hold this kid in high regard and this kid did that to him, and now we go look at what he can run and jump, and he's pretty good size, pretty good build. You know, we see him now, but we know we can put 15, 18 pounds on him and he's going to be a monster. So props to them for their evaluation process, because that's the only way I can really make it see that progression happen, because I've talked to his folks and they're like, we haven't talked to Penn State once. We haven't even spoken with them.
What is your reaction to, so in the class of 2026, Nebraska, the University of Nebraska doesn't have anybody in the top 10 committed and going to the university, but all the kids in the top 10 are going to Power 5 schools. What is your reaction, and what do you think that represents in terms of the health of Nebraska high school football?
In my heart, I don't like it, because when the run through the 90s happened, it was built with Nebraska kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, your Dishmans, your Otts, your Zadiskas, your Wilkes, your Uyghurs, you know, and then you splice in other pieces at other places. Okay. But you controlled what was in your state. I think right now where we're at and why it's not happening as much as we want it to is Nebraska is in a phase of transition where they can't see the Nebraska kid and say, okay, in 2 years, this kid's going to be really good. They need a kid they feel is more ready-made to step in and play day one. I think it will evolve. Like, they are active in the Nebraska high schools and they talk to the high school coaches, but I still think they're trying to get more plug and play guys so then they can have depth. So then in maybe another year, you know, your 28 class or your 27 class, now you're seeing more of the top kids of Nebraska State. It breaks my heart. I mean, you would love to see us just run roughshod over the state and keep all the local kids local, but in their opinion and their evaluation, that isn't where we're at. And so it is what it is. It sucks. But with the transfer portal and NIL, our NIL, I feel is once we made some restructuring plans there, we're better at our NIL. So people got different jobs and some people got different jobs. So we do better at that now. But we can then start to say, hey, we know you went to Iowa or Iowa State to start.
Yeah.
They kind of got you buried down there. We got space for you. And we know you can play. We've always known you can play. We just, at the time, it wasn't the right fit. So here's a little check. Maybe you just slide over here.
Yep. Thank you. I enjoyed this. Great shirt. Great for the thoughts. Love the conversation. And happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. We will be a day older tomorrow.
Yes, we will. We will see you then, my friend. Thank you.
See you, Matt.
That was good, boys. Have a good one.
You too.
That is